Good afternoon, everyone. We're here on our PNGAS Business Action Council job board, talk for today, and our guest today is Nefertiti Strickland. She's a military officer and cyber technology strategist. She's also a member of the Pennsylvania National Guard, and we're happy to have her today as a guest. And she's going to share some about her business and hopefully her connection and her background with the Guard and how it's helped her in her career. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that introduction, Shelley. Thank you all for having me, General. Always appreciate coming into this environment and learning more about what's happening here in Pennsylvania in PNGAS with the Pennsylvania Army National Guard. So for those of you that are not familiar with me, my name is Nefertiti Strickland. And as was stated in the introduction, I'm a member of the 28th Infantry Division. I serve on the staff of the 1st of the 108th FA, or Field Artillery Battalion, in the 56th Stryker Brigade. So that's a lot, right? But that doesn't even encompass all of the things that I've had the opportunity, the honor, the pleasure of being a part of, not just as a service member, but as a dependent. So I'd like to start, because my focus is around education, and I have two calls to action that I'm going to have for you today that we'll take a look at a little later in my slide presentation. Now, this is not military standard, General. I must say that some of these slides are a bit busy, but I'm sure you're not going to judge me. So Shelley, if you can provide me with access to share my slides, I will make those visible on the screen. And it says I can share my screen and put it in slideshow mode. If I can get a thumbs up, if you can see my slides and still hear me. I've got those thumbs up. So a couple of quotes about education. Talent is universal, but opportunity is not. Then education is the most powerful weapon with which you can change the world, right? And as standard, I'm not going to read all of the slides to you. But I believe in this. And the last point, or the last quote, I experienced personally as a dependent of two service members, two non-commissioned officers, as they were on assignment in Frankfurt and Wiesbaden, Germany. I was educated as the child of sergeants, the same way that a general's child would be educated through the Department of Defense school systems. Quality education for every child. That was me. Right? You see me in my parents' boots. You see what my father's doing. He's doing his push-ups, and I'm saluting my mother who is taking the photo. I often go out in the community and I speak to young people, their educators, and share with them my background in hopes that they can understand what some of the families in the community that are affiliated with the military and the military brats that are in their classrooms, that are some of their classmates and their students experience. So they see my name, Nefertiti, and of course they immediately recognize Nefertiti, right? So we have a dialogue about that. I share that that is the association. And I also share that I have traveled the world with my parents. I've lived in 3 different countries, 4 different states. I'm a first generation college student, a graduate at the master's and bachelor's degree level. I'm a first generation member of faculty, as well as a first generation Army officer. I received my government security clearance at the age of 18 as a member of the Georgia National Guard, and I earned my pilot's license before I received a driver's license. That usually surprises them, right? I have some of the logos that I'm affiliated with, my undergraduates from Savannah State University in Georgia, my master's from Penn State University. I'm a member of the teaching faculty adjunct at St. Joe's and an instructor at the Wharton School of Business. And I try to use these visuals to help them understand a little bit about my family, some of the places that I've lived. Over in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, that I'm currently a captain in the Signal Corps, right? So the business, right, that we're here to discuss, it's a benefit LLC for-profit called Teachers And. The ampersand is to denote collaboration. We believe that Pennsylvania industry deserves a world-class Pennsylvania educated workforce. And I think now more than ever, people are coming to the realization that education is at the core of our economy. It's at the core of our society. And I encourage those in our community and those listening live today, as well as those watching the replay, to find out how you can become involved in your community to support education while your children are in school and beyond, right? You're still paying part of the funding, the tax base for our schools, right? I think that we all should have input. So those of you that have served, you're familiar with this layout, and it seems straightforward. You start your career, you go through 20 plus years of service, and here's the map. With entrepreneurship, this is not what I have experienced, and this is not what many experience. There is no roadmap. So what you all are offering through PNGAS, what organizations like Bunker Labs that I'm affiliated with, it's a part of that call to action, is offering, is support as we identify our journey, our roadmap, and our way ahead in entrepreneurship. So here are a couple other quotes for you that I do think that are very impactful and that I live by 3 of our presidents. There are 2 educations. One should teach us how to make a living, the other how to live. Then education is not a problem. It is in fact an opportunity. And now more than ever, I want to deliver that call to action for you to support education in your community. If there's an opportunity for you to collaborate with me as an education-focused entrepreneur or those that are in my network, we welcome you to do so. And then I want you to think about every problem and every challenge that we face. Right? As the slide says, solution starts with education. So Teachers and we're education-focused entrepreneurs. I refer to the founders I work with as edupreneurs. We're advocates for scholars. I have 2 children myself, one that just came out of the high school or K-12 system in Upper Marion, Montgomery County, and one that is in 8th grade, so she's ready to be a big high schooler. Just got to get through this year successfully. And I find that many of the entrepreneurs that I work with have advocated for a young person, whether they're a child in their own home, a cousin, a neighbor. They have found a solution, and they've been encouraged to translate that solution into a product or a service. And then they find themselves in the world of business. And that's where they need community, and that's where they need support. So these individuals could be formal or informal educators, and we tend to be involved in emerging technologies. During the presentation and the opening, the introduction from Case, the gentleman was talking about a strand of gold, smaller or thinner than a strand of hair. So I immediately start to think about nanotechnology. Not sure if that's in fact what they're involved in, but these emerging technologies are what are moving us into the 4th industrial revolution. And we know that veterans and service members, we deal in technology all the time. We train to standard, and we're flexible and agile in being able to acquire new skills that make us prime candidates for this type of work. What we do, a lot of piloting and beta testing of products and services for the education marketplace. There's a monthly roundtable discussion, which at the end of this presentation, I will drop in the chat. Actually, this Thursday in Philadelphia at 36th and Market, our next roundtable discussion will be hosted, where we have the lead for Google education pilot program, who will be joining us to meet some of our edupreneurs and learn about the products, services, and solutions. And we use the tagline, "We design to disrupt and reimagine education." And disruption doesn't always fly with civilians, but we know how advantageous that can be in a military context, right? And how critical that is as we want to meet our intent and our end result. How you can help. So always attending the roundtable discussion, supporting education in your communities and the edupreneurs that I work with. And you can do that by sponsoring a Design to Disrupt roundtable event. The next one will be in February of 2023. There's always opportunities to become a brand partner for our products and services, and bringing those products and services to your community schools. And then becoming a technology partner as we start to build out our digital community and platforms. So I wanted to share this with you. There are a couple of awards between 20 and 20 2021 and 2022 that we were recognized for. I'm most proud of the Greater Philadelphia Social Innovation Awards that we were recognized for. We were also a recipient of the Simons Foundation funding through their Science Sandbox. And as I mentioned before, Bunker Labs, I'm the networking ambassador for the Greater Philadelphia region, and would love to talk to you, Shelley, the General Kelly, about how we can form a partnership. Right? As we have veterans who are coming out of active duty or National Guardsmen that are venturing into entrepreneurship, whether they come from us and are referred to you or the other way around, the community is what's important, right? So Bunker Labs, if you're not familiar, there's a vision there for you, a mission, and then who we serve. And I think it's important to note that not only are we serving the military veterans, but their spouses as well. I think that's really important. And then how we do that by inspiring, equipping, and connecting. So I look forward to talking to you all about how we can form some of these informal partnerships. And I would love to open up the dialogue to understand how I or we can help you.
Thank you so much, Nefertari. I'm going to go ahead and save this recording so that we can share it with our PNGAS community as a whole and with our other industry partners. Thank you so much for being here today. And I'm going to stop the recording so we can get into some question and answer.
And if you don't mind, I'll